the regular meeting of the Board of Education. It is Tuesday, November 20th, and I have 6:59, so we're pretty darn close there to 7 o'clock. Roll call, please.
Burko?
Here.
Cumberland?
Here.
Stanton?
Here.
Archie? Here. And Stahl?
Here.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. There is a flag up on top. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The Buckeye Local School District's mission is to empower students to excel in a highly competitive society. Meeting agenda statement. This meeting is a meeting of the Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. There is a time for public participation during the meeting as indicated in the agenda. Approval of minutes. Recommend that the Buckeye Board of Education approve the minutes for the special and regular meetings of October 9th, 2018, and, oh, that's it? Okay. A motion, please. Second? Second. Any questions about the minutes? Roll call.
Stahl?
Yes.
Archie?
Yes.
Stanton?
Yes.
Burko?
Yes.
Cumberland?
Yes. Recommendation statement. Following our recommendations that have been identified for approval as part of the consent agenda for this meeting. If a board member wishes to remove any item from this agenda for further discussion prior to taking action, please let either the superintendent or the board president know. Yes, we have a change to superintendent's recommendations. We have an addition of a letter D, and D is changed to E. But D is Mr. Morgan. That's all right.
Approval to process athletic expenditures. Recommend the Buckeye Board of Education approve the payment of expenditures related to the construction of the dugouts located at the new baseball field up to a maximum of $10,000. All expenditures related to the construction will be reimbursed by the Buckeye Athletic Boosters at no cost to the district.
Thank you. Approval of the consent agenda. Recommend that the Buckeye Board of Education approve the consent agenda of November 20th, 2018 as presented. Motion, please.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Any questions or comments other than that one change? Roll call.
Stanton?
Yes.
Burko?
Yes.
Archie?
Yes.
Stahl?
Yes.
Cumberland?
Yes. Mr. Morgan, your special guest.
Yes, we have a number of special guests. As you can tell, we have a full house, and we're glad to see every one of you. We'd like to start off our recognition here with our Students of the Month, by our administrators to come forward and introduce our Students of the Month of the 4 schools.
I teach 6th grade here at the Buckeye Intermediate, and for our student of the month at the intermediate side, I have Paige Middle. Paige is a textbook definition of what it means to be a Buckeye Intermediate student. Paige comes to school daily with a smile on her face. She is the type of student that all teachers would expect to have in the classroom. Paige shows tremendous commitment to her studies and is always prepared for a task at the end each day. She is a student that gets along with everyone in the classroom and consistently communicates and collaborates well with others. The 6th grade staff fully agreed that Paige is a perfect candidate to represent the grade for Student of the Month. Paige Middle is an all-star and is a bright future in front.
Good evening, I'm Mr. Flood, and the student of the month for the Buckeye Junior High is Corey Anderson. Is Corey here? She told me she was going to be here, but...
Yep, right over here.
Awesome. This is our student of the month, and I think she's walking up here very nervous right now. She should be very, very proud to be Buckeye Junior High Student of the Month. She was nominated by our teachers. Some of the things that they had to write about her and say about Corey, and actually bring her in, speak to her, and then I also had a chance to speak with her. But some of the things about Corey. Corey enjoys choir, art, and has been awarded parts in a musical production at Buckeye High School. She regularly attends plays and musicals with her aunt, and one of her favorites is William Shakespeare's As You Like It. Corey eventually wanted to pursue a career in the music industry. In addition to the arts, Corey wants to run track this spring for Buckeye, which I encourage. All right. She has already run several 5Ks with her aunt. She also enjoys reading, spending time with her animals, which include a chicken, 2 cats, 2 dogs, and hanging out with her younger brother, Lincoln. Corey Anderson.
I'm Kevin Jacob. I'm the high school principal. We have 2 students of the month. I'll start with Gabby Delancey because she's not here this evening. She had a prior commitment with girls varsity basketball, so she was unable to make it. But Gabby is a senior at Buckeye High School. She is an outstanding student who's involved in many things. She hopes next year to be attending Bowling Green State University, where she hopes to major in nursing so she can be a CRNA. Gabby is very involved at Buckeye High School from a myriad of different programs. She served as one of our freshman mentors this past year, helping to orient and transition students to the high school. She also was a member of our prom advisory committee last year that helped carry out the junior and senior class prom. She is also one of our elementary readers, so some of you guys may see Gabby at the elementary building, helping to read to younger students and provide role model type experiences and relationships with the kids there. Gabby is an outstanding student. She's currently enrolled in or has taken courses such as AP Calculus, AP Physics, AP U.S. Government, College Chemistry, that she's taking currently at Cuyahoga Community Western Campus, Online Mathematics at Tri-C, and also the College Composition course offered by Ms. Smith at our very own high school. In addition to that, Gabby is also a very accomplished athlete. She was recently named COC first team as a 4-year letter winner in soccer and 3-year letter winner in basketball. She actually set the Buckeye school record this past season for scoring in soccer, where she served as a captain on our undefeated regular season team that ended up being ranked 4th in the state at the conclusion of the regular season. So I know Gabby very much wanted to be here tonight, but she couldn't. And if I could sum her up in one word, it would be kind. The way she interacts with all students, staff members, her courteous disposition and caring nature. I think she's picking a great career for herself as a nurse because she truly is invested in other people. So congratulations to Gabby. Here, Nate, come on up. Nate Stewart is a junior at Buckeye High School, and Nate one day hopes that when he graduates, it's on the agenda next year, hopes to go on and pursue a college career where he's either going to major in criminal justice or cybersecurity. And if I could talk about Nate or the panelists are in a couple of words, he's a linchpin. Is the nicest, is the way to say it. He is heavily involved as a student aide in our library, where he is involved in managing and troubleshooting many of our technology issues at the high school. Now that we've moved to a 1-to-1 program in 3 of our grade levels with Chromebooks, it's not uncommon to see Nate down there before school, after school, during lunch, during study hall, giving up of his own time to help out other kids, teachers, the principal on occasion, in setting up things for presentations in the auditorium, to troubleshooting, typical things that, most of us should probably be able to figure out with a Google search. We don't do that. We just go straight to Nate and he fixes it for us. So he is a linchpin in helping other people at Buckeye High School on a daily basis. I couldn't imagine how much time he put in at the beginning of the school year when we were handing out Chromebooks. I know he was essential to Miss Doty, making sure that, we got our Chromebooks out to all of our kids in a timely manner. And he gave me a bunch of notes afterwards on how we can do it better next year. So he's really, not only taking on a role where he's a helper and a doer, he's a leader where other people are willing to get behind him and follow him. Not only is he a tech man, he's a Renaissance man because he does many other things. He's a Boy Scout for the 5200 or 520, where he is a patrol leader, helping out with numerous community service events, from the pancake breakfast in Valley City to the annual plant day, to doing all sorts of things that would be community-based organizations that you would want your kid to be involved in. On top of that, he's also taking rigorous coursework where he's enrolled in AP Environmental Science. Thank you for everything you do for us. It's an honor and privilege to have you at our school. Best of luck.
Mr. Stahl. You are the CEO, right? Do you have any speakers? Maybe one so, I'm very pleased to present the primary student of the month, Mr. Joseph Stahl. His teacher, Mrs. Spencer, had these things to say about him. Joseph is a wonderful student. He is a very hard worker who always does his best. He's a good friend to all of his classmates. He's a great helper to me and his fellow classmates, and he's always willing to lend a helping hand. Joseph is very considerate to others' feelings and is respectful to all, and he's very deserving of being the star student for Buckeye Primary. And I have to say, I enjoy his smile in the hallway. You're always smiling. And he too, I have to say, is a Renaissance man. So congratulations.
Next up, we have Mr. Greg Pollock to introduce our National Bus Safety Week student recognition.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan, members of the board. Welcome, everyone. Just want everybody to know, all of you awesome in the months, there will be a photo op after all of the student recognition, so we'll be glad to get a picture and a recess, so that in case you don't want to stay for the rest of the week, but that's up to you. So we did something a little bit neat this year. I don't know what we've done in the past, but I've done this in other districts where we take a week and send out reminders and things like that about National School Bus Safety Week. This year's theme was bus driver is my safety hero. So we did a little contest at the elementary level, and we have them hanging up all over the support services office area in the hallways. And the driver voted on them and which ones they thought were really neat, really cool, and all those kind of things. So we selected a handful of them. They were all great, but we selected a handful of them to come tonight. And we're going to display them on the screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call up a student, if they're here, as well as the bus driver to come up and stand up here and be recognized. And on the screen there, you'll see each student's drawing or saying which they did. Adriana D'Amico, kindergarten, her driver is Mrs. Van Ross, bus 40. Come on up. Our next student is Cora Mercer, and Mr. Capella, 18. Luca Marinowski, and is he here?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Miller is on a field trip with the varsity basketball team, so come on up. Carly Rankin, first grader, Mrs. Nash. Come on up. Emma Anderson.
Richardson, grade 3, also Mrs. Nash, bus 5. Elena Bazo, grade 3. Okay. Brad Stawicki, grade 3. Mr. Urbanski. Mr. Urbanski here. You come on up, Mr. Urbanski. Trey Powers, Mrs. Pitek. Trey here. Come on up, Trey. Come on up, Mrs. Pitek. Sophia Mayer, grade 5. That's Mr. Temple. Come on up, Mr. Temple. Sophia, I gotta tell you, yours got a lot of votes with that. Skyland today, grade 5, Mr. Temple. This was another one that got a lot of votes from Mr. Temple. Apparently Mr. Temple likes to go in costume from time to time on the buses, and Mr. Temple has amazing Buckeye spirit out here. So, if you could give all these awesome students a nice round of applause. Don't go. Okay, so after you do the other recognition. Very good.
Students, you may be seated and we'll take your picture in just a minute, okay?
They're going to come back to board. So to continue with the bus theme tonight, we also have 4 of our drivers, they're all 4 here this evening, competed in a regional rodeo competition. It's called the Bus Rodeo. It's sponsored throughout all the different regions in the state of Ohio. And they not only do maneuverability of the buses and backing and forward going, but they also take written exams. And it's an all-day Saturday event. The drivers volunteer their time and totally from practicing to studying to the event. Other districts actually pay their drivers to compete, and those can have incentives like that. But the drivers out here, they've won the last 2 years, and I'm happy to report that they had a three-peat this year. So congratulations to them. So I'd like to call up Mr. Temple. Mr. Temple, would you tell everyone why you think the rodeo is important and why you like to compete in the rodeo?
Well, it helps to build your skills. It's sort of like an obstacle course, and it will help you learn the parameters of your bus and the abilities of what your bus can and cannot do and where it can and cannot go. A big part of the scoring is for the student pickup and drop-off, and that's obviously the most important part of the bus trip, is the safety of our students, picking them up, dropping them off. And there are certain ways that the state of Ohio wants that done, and that's, like I said, a very large part of the scoring. And a lot of the bus drivers become complacent in in their everyday operations. You're picking up and dropping off sometimes hundreds of students a day, 178 days in the school year. So it kind of becomes automatic, but it's important to become automatic in a good way and not a bad way, or not an unsafe way. So I've been doing it since I started, and since the first one in 2010 was my first one. And I feel I like to feel that it's kept my skills sharp, and it's fun to compete with the other drivers, talk to the other drivers from the other schools at the regional rodeos. They move around to different schools. And
Thank you. Mrs. P-Tech, come on up. Can you bring your face up with you? I know you do. So Mrs. P-Tech, I thought you've done this more than one time. Why do you like competing in that structure?
I like competing in it because I feel like it makes me a better driver. And when you're in an emergency situation here, which could be like having to turn the bus around because of an accident or a road closure or something like that, I feel like it equips me for that.
Thank you. Mrs. McDonald, come on up. So Mrs. McDonald is a first-year driver with us, and she took home the honors of Rookie of the Year. So what does that mean? How did you become Rookie of the Year in this rodeo? What did you do besides score high?
I studied a lot and we practiced a lot, and it was a good team building thing to work together with the other drivers and practice.
Gabeline. Gabeline. So I'm going to let Mr. Gabeline explain to you how close he was in becoming the #1 driver in the state of Ohio.
Well,
We did the others?
well, it was close. It was close. I was very close. But just like everybody who participates, one tiny little mistake in this competition, and you get points. So everybody who's participated has their own little foible where they, didn't do so well or whatever. But the reason I like competing is all the reasons they all said. It's becoming a better driver. It's building the camaraderie. It's a good way for us to get out and network with other drivers, and it's just a really fun time too.
Do you get the shortest walk from the bus to the Yes.
The spots are also assigned based on your finish in the rodeo. It helps.
I put him on his spot. He still didn't answer the question. He was one of the people, because of his high score, the regional went on and competed at the state level. And when he was, correct me where I'm wrong here, since you didn't share.
Yeah.
When he was backing up the bus, you had to come on so close to this cone, okay, alleyway or whatever it was. And he was perfect, right where he wanted to be. And just like in a car, when you're on any kind of surface, he set the brake, working brake on the bus, and let off the regular brake. And that little bit of brake moved the bus back this much, which got him a point deduction that if it wouldn't have occurred, he would have been a state champion. The top 10 driver in the state of Ohio. Mr. Stemp was also previously a top 10 driver in the state of Ohio. So I just thought we need to recognize that and thank you for your time and effort.
Thank you.
Our next group to recognize here is our Buckeye Garden Club, and Miss Anita Barnhart is our advisor for that, and she has been doing a fabulous job. And you want to just share how long you've been doing the club before we recognize the students?
This is my 5th year. Now, 5 years we've been doing this. And we started from 10 kids, and now we have a mass.
I was going to say, for last week we had our Ohio School Boards Association meeting down in Columbus, and the Garden Club was invited to come down and present to all the state superintendents that were there, as well as school board members, and there was a lot of people there to see our students, and they did a fabulous job presenting the Garden Club. So thank you very much, students, and for Mrs. Barnhart for her efforts on promoting Buckeye's Garden Club.
Mr. Morgan asked me to come in and talk about this, and one of the things that I said was, I don't want to just bring the kids that around the street. I wanted them all to come. So if you're a Garden Club member, come on. Okay, this is my mom, first of all, Donna Clark. Everyone calls her Miss Donna. She seems like it. We also have Mrs. Erb, who helped us with the Winter Spring Club, the Greenhouse Club, and Mrs. Smith, who also helped us with the Summer Club. We also have Luke Barnelli way in the back, and he is our high school representative. So he was very important to both groups. So what I'm going to do, because I promised that no one was going to have to stand up here by themselves, I'll call your name, and when I call your name, you can sit down, okay? I'm going to Leah Randall first. Okay. Ellie? You're leader. All right. Alexa Eber. Oh. Olivia. Savannah Herb. Emily Garner. We had a lot of people that left for Thanksgiving break. Grace Hatchman. Chloe Kaminsky. Jillian Kohler. Anna Kaufman. Eve Krieger. Matt. Diane. Avery Mason. Ashley McCoy. James Meyer. Ava Perkins. Good to meet you. That's your last name. You get from the bench. There you go. Vivian Brock. Aspen Reed. Savannah Shaker. Grace Stein. Grace was the best of the members. Husband Chanel. Heidi Sims. There we go. Heidi also went with us. Emma Sims. Oh, here you are. David Thomas? I'm sorry. Okay. Billy Thompson. And David Christensen. Hunter. Hunter is our homeschool student who came in and helped the Buckeye Garden Center out this year. Nicole Burrell. Lila Wood. All right, then. Emily. Okay, I'll give you my label, okay?
puts on is a great program. I am really amazed. Every year they have a time when we can come in and tour the garden, talk with the students, and the depth of knowledge of the science that goes behind gardening is very much brought into this program. And the expression, the way that the students learn to be able to talk to people, express themselves, get their point across is amazing. And I know that there's a lot of work that goes into that, and I'd like to thank all of you who have been involved in it. Thanks.
Well, ladies and gentlemen and students, we're going to take maybe a 10-minute break.
Yes, please.
To take some photos of all our award winners tonight, and then after that is over, we'll continue with the regular board meeting.
All pictures will be taken in front of the screen, so if you have a certificate, please meet me over there.
We're going to get back to our meeting agenda, and we are going to pull one item out of the superintendent's informational items and take care of it at this time, because I see little people who may want to go home and go to bed. So, we're going to go ahead with Wilma Bunn's Employee of the Year. Mr. Morgan?
Sure. We'd like to recognize this year's winners of the Wilma Bunch Employee of the Year. We have Amanda Hogue, who is our Certified Employee of the Year, and Patty Simley, our Classified Employee of the Year. If you come forward and just be recognized. And we did recognize our Employees of the Year at our school functions, and just wanted to recognize this from the board here. You don't want to trust your own video. That way, we'll recognize you when they come to the junior high. So just want to thank you for everything you've done and all the things you do for our kids. Thank you very much.
And maybe we should have a picture of them against this nice
sure.
backdrop too. Can you take a picture? Or you already put everything back together?
It's okay.
Treasurer's report. Recommend that the Buckeye Board of Education accept the treasurer's report as presented, including all internal budget and certificate and appropriations to the county auditor as on file in the treasurer's office, which is appendix A. COBRA agreement. Recommend that the Buckeye Board of Education approve the COBRA compliance administrative service agreement between continuing care administrators and Buckeye local schools as appendix B. And revised budget and purpose statement. Recommend the Buckeye Board of Education approve the revised budget and purpose statement and applicable fundraisers for the following student activity groups, which is appendix C, and those are the junior class and choir club. And number D, or letter D, creation of a student activity group. Recommend that the Buckeye Board of Education approve the creation of the following student activity groups: art and photography club and key club.
A motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Any questions on these reports? I'd like to thank you for the update when you explain everything to us. I really appreciate that. Roll call, please.
Savarchi?
Yes.
Barkos?
Yes.
Manson?
Yes.
Stahl?
Yes.
And Cumberland.
Yes. Public participation. The public is invited to speak to any of the agenda items and other school topics. Comments should be limited to 3 minutes. Direct questions will not be answered by the Board of Education members at this time. However, answers will be given at a later time as appropriate. Is there anyone who wishes to address the board this evening? Seeing none, we'll move on to the superintendent's informational items.
Thank you. We have two presentations this evening. Mr. Jacob, you are up first.
Good evening. How's everyone doing tonight? Good. Miss Knapp told me with it being Thanksgiving, she has to get home and start getting the homemade stuffing ready to go, so I was on a very short time frame. So I always listen to Miss Knapp, so I'm going to try to keep it a little bit brief today. I'm going to present a little bit about what our strategic plan, Mr. Harrington and I have kind of been, tasked with and leading. I know the academic side of things, the facility side of things, and obviously the finances side of things were kind of earmarked as our priority areas. But school spirit and pride and culture really permeate all of those areas. Because if you walk into a school building on any single given day, and kids aren't excited about walking into the building, they aren't happy about being there, getting excited to take classes and to get sit down and receive instruction and to learn and to grow, it doesn't happen as fluently. And we have a lot of great things taking place at Buckeye High School. We had unprecedented athletic success this fall with our first playoff win in school history. Girls soccer team going undefeated and reaching as high as reaching high as number 4 ranked in the state. Conference champions in volleyball, it's boys soccer. So we had lots of great things going on athletically. We had, as Ms. Kohler had here earlier this year, all sorts of AP scholars and students being recognized for their performance on air testing. But one of the things that I have heard from students early on in conversation with them, and Ms. Pivarch can kind of attest to, when we had our most recent strategic plan meeting, is that our building is not exactly exciting in terms of how it's laid out and how it looks. Little things like in the girls' restroom running out of soap, or having baskets overflowing with paper towels, dated and dusty display cases that represent our history and our legacy that should be a focal point of pride, maybe needing some adjustments and some sprucing up. So Mr. Harrington and I have begun the groundwork and the legwork of how we would transition some of our common spaces at Buckeye High School. I kind of affectionately refer to one of our trophy cases now with the nice pack of tan letters that are, adhered to there, announcing us, what our trophy cases are. In today's day and age, we're able to get away with using some vinyl graphics, vinyl stickers that can be adhered to any type of surface, whether it be brick, stucco, wood, and it's using heat application that allows us to utilize our branding, our school colors, and and some logos that we utilize to help kind of set us apart from any other school that you would walk into. So right there would be an example of where the MAC trophy case currently is, how the upper heading of that trophy case could be redone and revitalized. If you look over there, this would be our cafeteria view facing the gym, where we currently have the hand-painted Buckeye up there. You can see up there in the top level, being replaced with our school colors of the brown and the orange with our updated mascot, and the idea of Buckeye pride being more prominent, more visible, and aligned with what our school colors, truly represent with the right Pantone colors. Walking through our hallways, you see signs above lockers and empty space above lockers that currently aren't representative of anything Buckeye related or school related. Trying to take some of that space and put in characteristics and graphics. And these are just some examples of mock-ups of what they would look like. We could do, hosts of different things, whether it be phrases, quotes, school community values that we develop or identify, along with our student leaders, our staff members, our community members, that typify and represent what we would want our students to see on a daily basis as they walk our halls. This right here would be our back area, where our wall of fame would be. Again, just kind of like a Buckeye pride, a very basic statement. It could be personalized to that area. That is where the new entrance will be, kind of right there to the left of it. But again, mirroring the other side of the cafeteria, so the colors and the branding are aligned and it's uniform, it's crisp, it's clean, it's a little bit clearer. The concession stand area, currently maybe one of the bigger eyesores in the cafeteria. When you pull it up, it's a great looking area, but when it's down, it's a metal steel door. We would probably get a little bit more creative than labeling a concession stand. We would all know what was behind it, but it would be something along the lines that would say, "We are Buckeye." One of the ideas we've come up with would be taking old yearbook photos, watermarking those behind in the phrases, if that would be possible through some of our graphics design programs, either the company that we would utilize or our students, and trying to create some areas that typify and exemplify Buckeye pride and community spirit. Identifying some of our areas in the building with vinyl siding. This is some of the, if you see that real thin corrugated, I guess it's not cardboard but plastic. It adheres to the wall. It's as opposed to doing some of the things where you hand stencil and paint that requires consistent updating, because over time it fades, it goes away. And it's also one of those things when you put it up there, it's not personalized to who put it up. So you don't end up having something that's in your building that becomes a sentimental attachment maybe for some people, where now you have something that looks great in 2018, but in 2042, we want to remove it, but we're stuck because there's a tradition and a legacy behind it. Updated score banners for the gym representing some of our more, accomplished achievements, and I know some of those were graciously replaced recently by our athletic boosters. So now we're replacing the ones that are brand new, but replacing some of the things that were not updated along with that. Just an idea of some things that we can put on the wall logo options. That space that you see right there is Mr. Binkley's breaker space. It's a great concept that he's come up with, as he's, one of the trends that we see educationally is having places for kids to make things. He's had the idea that he's got a bunch of broken stuff in there, and then having kids be able to use that as part of our STEM initiative programs, or during Buckeye period, to explore and play and to create, try to solve a problem of something that might be broken. Our young man that was here tonight, Nathan, and I've seen him tinkering around there a few times, trying to get some stuff to work. So I mean, hidden value that you don't necessarily see on a report card or on a student's grade sheet. Really, we have a great library, and we're trying to really transition it to become more of a student hub where kids want to be, to study, to gather, to socialize and decompress. Making it more of a marked and a visible area so we know what's inside of it. Again, an optional wall logo. You have a big giant orange wall in the middle of the hallway with nothing on top of it. It can be a bit overcoming if you're walking down and you catch that big bright orange without anything on it. So, kind of sprucing it up with our block B that's officially adopted, that the strategic plan had done, I believe last year, if that's correct, Mr. Stalls, when those were adopted, is that correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Same wall, obviously, with possibly putting a new buck up there. Again, reworking so we can have some reusable boards in our weight room that can be utilized for record keeping, goal setting for our student athletes as they participate in lifting programs, conditioning programs in the off season. One of my personal favorite ones, some of the windows that are above the classrooms and the lockers, being able to try to put some of those things up there that again add color and vibrance and a nice crisp, clean, professional look to the school hallways. All of this that we can do this year, I believe we are quoted at under $5,000 if we were to do everything as visual, shown here today. So very affordable, very cost effective, and a way that we can revitalize, spruce up, and bring some energy to our hallways. Some other things that we've done this year, we've started having the marching band walk and play every Friday at the end of the week during the football season. One, to give our kids an additional opportunity to showcase their talents, their skills, and their efforts. And I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Mr. King and what a great job he does bringing energy and excitement to our school every day. His band, and they perform and practice maybe more than any band in the state of Ohio. With the dedication, the amount of work that they do, being able to go and walk the halls every Friday morning. It's funny, Mr. King says every Friday he calls the band down, like, I don't want to do it today, and by the end of their performance, they're all buzzy and happy that they did it. Watching our kids stand up in the hall, seeing our football players, our soccer players, when the band coming through, would get excited. I actually had a student who was about to go to his car because he wanted to get escorted by Officer Gerard to go get something that he forgot. He heard the band coming. He said to Officer Gerard, do you mind if I wait a minute? I want to see the band come through. So those little types of things that I think we take for granted, the type of impact that they can have on the school and the fabric of the school, really make, coming to the building an exciting place to be. I actually met with Ms. Kohler today, and we were working on trying to come up with some ideas of where we could revitalize some of our trophy cases and some of our hallway spaces to do some greater work of identifying excellent academic achievement as well. Recognizing our AP students who maybe perform well on, one day become a national merit finalist or, something along those lines, which is a great goal for us to have. Our students who make honor roll or merit roll, how do we recognize the students that are getting it done in the classroom with greater fidelity and greater regularity? So those are things that we're talking about, trying to recognize. One of the young ladies that we had at our committee introduced herself as an above average student. That's how she identified herself as to the committee and the group of people that were there. And she gave very honest and sincere feedback about some of the frustrations that, from a student would have about walking through the building, to the different shades of orange that we see in our hallways, and working with some Eagle Scouts currently, maybe being able to make that an Eagle Scout project to try to get some consistencies with our coloring and our paint in the hallways and making the building just a more vibrant and exciting place to be on a daily basis is really what our focus of that strategic plan has been thus far. The other thing I wanted to kind of just highlight really quickly about what we've been doing a little bit differently at Buckeye High School this year. We've had a renewed effort between Ms. Maxwell and myself to really increase our parental communications. As kids get older, you get that little folder home and they put all the information in there, and I know every week I get an email home from both of my kids' teachers that I need extensively. Just tell me what I need to know. And you're very engaged with what's going on in the school, and you know everything that's going on because the parents are more responsible for their children. As we start to move up that ladder, that communication factor, that communication piece really starts to go away. 7th and 8th graders never bring anything home. They purposely hide it. High school kids, they share exactly what they want their parents to know about with the things that they're involved in. Doesn't have your head there. And then other things, we have no idea what's going on, what's taking place, and we miss a lot of things that are going on. So I have started to send, as opposed to a phone call updating everything, because I know when I get those phone calls from my kid's school, I get about a minute into it, and I stop listening to it, and I'll go back and listen to it later if I need to, or the email blast that's very, very long. You read a couple of the things in it, you don't get through it. So we've moved to having a digital publication called S'more Newsletter that you can repetitively go back to each and every time. And it also gives us analytics so we know who's reading it, how long they're reading it, where they're reading it from, what external links they might be clicking on. I made a calculated mistake. I figured with it being Thanksgiving week, this was the Monday that it was due to be sent out. I'm like, no one's reading it this week. They're too busy with the holidays coming up. I'm going to do a very basic Happy Thanksgiving message, a couple things. 275 people read it within the first 24 hours. I'm like, of course, the one time that I don't, load it up with information is the one time that it's, it's really getting hit within the first 24 hours. On average, I get about 400 views every other week, so 800 views a month. I just earned a S'more badge. 2,000 hits for my newsletters this year, so 2,000 different individuals have interacted with the newsletter throughout the course of the school year already. And we're just putting in information that, might take place during the course. So this is the most recent one with a lot of information in it, but, we advertised our strategic planning meetings that took place, reminder of the late arrival day taking place, announcing our music award from the OMEA contest, image of our football team after the first, playoff win in school history. I actually tweeted this picture out, and one of my buddies from college responded saying that's a photo those guys will take with them for the rest of their lives. And I thought that was actually a really cool thing for him to say, because you look at it, and I think it summarizes, just great accomplishment and a great, season. Information about, playoff tickets that we were selling, some graphics that took place, our Veterans Day celebration announcement, STEM club information. We got a call from one member of the community who was concerned about kids driving in safety and the roundabout the proper way. So we did our grade level meeting and we reviewed the proper safety for the roundabout. We also put it in there so parents knew that we were getting this feedback, showed the video that we showed them so that they can also have that conversation with their kid. 25 people clicked on the video, I know. So maybe not what I would hope, but 25 people, that might make a big difference in the long run. showed some of our Halloween activity that took place, and just basic things that are taking place. And we're really starting to move away from a lot of text to trying to get into more graphics like this with the information, so people who are busy and working, and they can format it to their phone, they get the picture on it, they get the information they need, they can even take that picture, save it, and text it on to somebody else. So really trying to help improve the communication for all of our families so they know what's going on at Buckeye High School with more regularity.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good stuff.
Thank you. Okay, our next item is the holiday breaks. We have some dates there, November 21st to 23rd, 2018, Thanksgiving break. December 21st, 2018, we have no school for students. Is Tom here?
No, he has a video.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Mr. Hagan had scrimmage this evening, so he couldn't make it.
I apologize. So our December 21st, 2018, we have no school for students as a teacher workday, and then December 24th.
Okay.
There's our winter break. And now for the much anticipated, more exciting, the video from Mr. Harrington.
Hi, I'm Tom Harrington, and I'm the athletic director here at Buckeye High School. Our fall athletes picked up right where we left off last school year. This fall, we had our first playoff win in school history for football. We had an undefeated girls soccer season, and we had 4 PAC championships. Currently, we lead the All-PAC Cup, slightly ahead of Fairview and Lutheran West. So hopefully our winter and spring teams will be able to continue the success that we've established this fall. Our cross-country teams had very successful seasons. Our girls team finished second in the PAC, and our boys team was 5th out of 10 teams. For All-PAC, we had several students make that honor. Maddie Rocheville was All-PAC along with Brooke Franz, Morgan Sechka, Sarah Keith, Mason Cabot, and Jacob Stahl. Not only did these kids do an outstanding job running, but they also were tremendous in the classroom. Our boys team had a GPA of 3.619. Our girls team had a GPA of 3.443, and we had 16 PAC scholar athletes. To be an all-PAC scholar athlete, you have to be able to maintain a 3.5 GPA or higher, along with lettering for your school. So congratulations to all of our runners. Our football team, quite simply, made history this year with a 28-25 playoff win at home over Alliance for the first time in school history. Not only did they have their playoff win, but they also won another PAC conference championship with a regular season record of 9-1. Their playoff win elevated them to the second round, and they finished the season with a 10-2 record. So we're very, very proud of these boys and coaches and all the hard work that they put in. We had a lot of kids make All-PAC. Our first teamers include Jacob Durgee, Dom Monaco, Ryan Smith, Matt McBride, Anthony Watkins, Logan Steppenbacher, Austin DiBiasio, and Logan Scholes. Our second teamers include Armando Nye, Mike Knoll, Keegan Varney, Jacob Stahl, AJ Curlow, and Zach Weber made honorable mention. Coach Dennison was Coach of the Year, and Dom Monaco was the Defensive Player of the Year for the Patriot Athletic Conference. We also had a few kids who made all-district honors, which is a great accomplishment. That's competing with many teams in the area to achieve this award. First teamers include Anthony Watkins, Dom Monaco, and Ryan Smith. Second team includes Logan Scholes. And honorable mention includes Mike Knoll, Logan Steppenbacher, and Jacob Durgee. Also this year, Clay Gunkelman had achieved the record of most extra points in a row in Buckeye history. This team also did a great job in the classroom. They had a team GPA of 3.309 and had 14 PAC scholar athletes. So the team was a success on the field and in the classroom, and many congratulations to our coaches and football players. Our boys soccer team also took home a conference championship. Our boys soccer had the player of the year, Tyler Miranda. First teamer, Adam Mattress and Tyler Miranda. Second team, Eddie Greer, Danny Thorick and Jack Waters. And honorable mention for Clay Gunkelman for the PAC. We had 11 PAC scholar athletes in boys soccer, and we had a team GPA of 3.28. So back-to-back conference championships for boys soccer. Congratulations to Coach Serio for that tremendous accomplishment. Our girls soccer team also had an amazing season. Our girls soccer was undefeated in the regular season. A very young team. They only graduate 4 seniors, so we know that they're going to have another terrific season next year as well. They were the PAC champs. They had the player of the year in Gabby Glancy. Gabby also led the county in scoring and set the single season record for most goals in a season for Buckeye. We had Coach of the Year, Derek Gullen. We had all-conference first teamers, Gabby Glancy and Reagan McCourt. We had second teamers, Riley Vickerts, Lauren Petrovich, and Emma Resnick. And honorable mention, Alexa Atlasy. We had district winners. We had Gabby Glancy and Maddie Tanner as first team all-district. Second team, Reagan McCourt. And all-district honorable mention, Lauren Petrovich. And these girls did one of the best jobs in the classroom that I think you'll ever see by a team. They finished the year with a 3.959 GPA, and they also had 12 PAC Scholar winners. So amazing job by this team, not only for their season, but also in the classroom. Congratulations to our golf team. Our golfers came in second place for the second straight year. Tony Vanello won the conference championship with a 76 at Medina Country Club for medalist honors. Our golf team had 2 PAC Scholar athletes, and they also had a team GPA of 3.376. So congratulations to our golfers. Volleyball had one of the most difficult and probably one of the most rewarding seasons this year. Halfway through the season, we had a new coach, Kara Joyce, take over in the middle of the year. Kara was our JV coach, and she moved up to varsity for the remainder of about the second half of the season and did an amazing job leading the girls. When she took over, our team was in third place in the conference, and at the end of the year, we were in first. They did a great job. The girls did rallying around each other and really playing some of their best volleyball as the season went on. We had first teamers Kamaya Gibson and Molly Galashevsky. For the conference, we had second team Sydney Bell, honorable mention Claire Mawiney, and all district first team Molly Galashevsky and second team Kamaya Gibson. The volleyball team also was great in the classroom with a 3.623 GPA and 9 PAC Scholar athletes. So congratulations to our volleyball team on your conference championship. And also with this sport, the future looks bright. I want to give a shout out to our band. Our band received the first superior rating at States this year since 1998. So congratulations to Mr. King and the band. I say it all the time, but they do so much to add to the atmosphere of our football games and the music that they play after we score and at halftime. Really does make a huge difference, and we appreciate everything the band does for our athletic department. Also, shout out to our cheerleaders. Our cheerleaders represented our school so well this year. They are also out there in the cold weather and some of those crazy nights in the fall, and they do a great job of leading our student section and of making the atmosphere at Buckeye a positive and fun one for everybody. So thank you to our cheerleaders, and also thank you to the band. So to summarize some of our academic achievements, we went over each of the team's GPAs. When you add all those up and divide it, it's 3.483 as an athletic department for the fall, along with 64 PAC Scholar athletes. So not only did we have a great season competing athletically, but also our kids continue to do amazing work in the classroom. And also this fall, recently, we had one of our softball players, Claire Mawiney, who also is a standout in volleyball. Claire received an athletic scholarship to Walsh University. So we want to congratulate her. She's going to continue her academic and athletic career and play softball at Walsh. So we wish her nothing but the best. We look for great things from her in the spring. And thank you very much for listening. Sorry that I couldn't be there tonight. Lots of Buckeye pride, and we're looking forward to a great winter. Thank you.
Recommendations, we have item A, approval of MOU, recommend the Buckeye Board of Education approve the memorandum of understanding between the Buckeye Board of Education and Cleveland State University for the partnership to support licensure preparation in grades P12 for August 2018 through August 2022. A copy of the contract is attached to board members' agendas as Appendix E. Item B, overnight field trip. Recommend the Buckeye Board of Education approve an overnight field trip for the Buckeye Junior High Wrestling Team. Their field trip to Urbana, Ohio is scheduled for January 18th through 19th, 2019. Approximately 16 wrestlers and 2 coaches will be attending. There is no cost to district. A copy of the overnight trip proposal is attached to board members' agendas as Appendix F. Item C, approval of the revised Buckeye Preschool Student Parent Handbook for 2018-19. Resolved the Buckeye Board of Education approve the revised Buckeye Preschool Handbook for the 2018-19 school year as presented. A copy will be attached to the board members' agenda as Appendix G. Item D, approval to process athletic expenditures. Recommend the Buckeye Board of Education approve the payment of expenditures related to the construction of the dugouts located at the new baseball field up to a maximum of $10,000. All expenditures related to the construction will be reimbursed by the Buckeye Athletic Boosters at no cost to the district.
May I have a motion for these recommendations?
Motion.
Second? Second. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Manson?
Yes.
Havarchi?
Yes.
Stahl?
Yes.
Barco?
Yes.
Gumbo?
Yes.
Item E, final reading of student curriculum. Recommend the Buckeye Board of Education approve the novel The Invisible Man for adoption AP Literature as submitted by Dr. Christina Collins for the Buckeye High School AP Literature class. A copy of the novel will be made available for review.
A motion, please.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any questions? Roll call.
Barco?
Yes.
Havarchi?
Yes.
Stahl?
Yes.
Manson?
Yes.
Gumbo?
Yes.
First reading of the following policies. Recommend the Buckeye Board of Education consider the policies listed below as presented. Copies of the complete policies are attached to board members' agendas as Appendix H. Number 1, Policy 10131, Legislative. Policy number 2, Policy 0141.2, Conflict of Interest. Number 3, Policy 0164, Notice of Meeting. Number 4, Policy 0165.1, Regular Meetings. Number 5, Policy 0165.2, Special Meetings. Item 6, Policy 0165.3, Recess Adjournment. Policy number 7, 0166, Executive Session. Number 8, Policy 0168, Minutes. Number 9, Policy 0169.1, Public Participation at Board Meetings. Number 10, Policy 1240.01, Non-Reemployment of the Superintendent. Item 11, Policy 1422, Non-Discrimination of Equal Employment Opportunity. Number 12, Policy 6423, Credit Card Policy. Item 13, Policy 6680, Recognition. And item 14, Policy 8141, Operations.
We'll continue with personnel.
Item A, Certified Substitutes. Recommended the Buckeye Board of Education approve the attached list of certified substitutes tutors recommended by the Medina County Schools ESC to work on an as-needed basis for the 2018-19 school year. A copy of the list is attached to board members' agendas as Appendix I. Item B, Classified Personnel. Recommends the Buckeye Board of Education approve the following classified personnel items as presented. Number 1, medical leave. Recommended the Buckeye Board of Education approve a medical leave for Joe Schrodak, intermediate head custodian, effective 11/28/18. Mr. Schrodak's estimated return date is February 28, 2019. Item 2, resignation. Recommend the Buckeye Board of Education accept the resignation of Rhonda Bartos, junior high school cafeteria cook, effective 11/29/18. Item 3, employment. Recommend the Buckeye Board of Education approve to hire Shannon Bodak as a 4.25 hour paraprofessional playground aide at Buckeye Elementary effective November 26, 2018. Ms. Bodak will be paid at step 1 for the negotiated contract. Item 4, change of contractual hours. Recommend the Buckeye Board of Education approve a change of contractual hours for the following playground cafeteria aides to 4 1/4 hours a day, effective November 26, 2018. Kelly LeCon, Kim Lewandowski, Mary Martin, Nicole Shear, and Jill Sprecher. Item 5, change of contractual hours. Recommend the Buckeye Board of Education approve a change of contractual hours to 3 1/2 hours a day for the following playground cafeteria aide, effective November 26, 2018, Karen Golden. Item 6, classified reduction in force. Recommend the Buckeye Board of Education approve the following classified reduction in force, effective November 5, 2018. This reduction in force is a result of a decrease in student enrollment. Preschool paraprofessional. Item C, classified substitutes. Recommend that the Buckeye Board of Education approve the following classified substitutes to work on an as-needed basis for the 2018-19 school year, pending the completion of all required documentation as presented. Item D, supplemental contract approval. Recommend the Buckeye Board of Education approve the following supplemental contracts pending certifications as well as resignations effective for the 2018-19 school year as listed.
All right, a motion for these personnel items.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
any questions or comments on any of these? Roll call.
Stahl?
Yes.
Spargo?
Yes.
Mattson?
Yes.
Savarchi?
Yes.
Compliment?
Yes. Next item is donations.
Recommend that the Buckeye Board of Education accept and recognize the following donations to Buckeye local schools as presented. Item A, Mike Kiesel for his donation of various photography equipment and supplies at an estimated cost of $2,394.32 to be used by the Buckeye High School students in art photography classes. Item B, York Township for the donation of traffic signs to be placed throughout the Buckeye local schools campus, which are these on the table. And they will be placed around our campus. And item number C, Mr. Andy Conrad for time and materials to install the traffic signs. Item D, a 12-foot by 24-foot shed, estimated cost of $5,250 by the Buckeye Youth Soccer Association for storage of Buckeye sports equipment, Appendix J. And item E, Dr. Mark J. Stubendeek for his donation of various school supplies, an estimated cost of $200 to be distributed to Buckeye elementary families on an as-needed basis.
A motion for these donations.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
any comments? Roll call.
Mattson?
Yes.
Savarchi?
Yes.
Stahl?
Yes.
Spargo?
Yes.
Compliment?
Yes. The next part of the agenda is board comments. Mr. Manson, do you have anything to share
Thank
tonight?
you. So much great stuff tonight. Bus drivers are similarly so with their awards. Tom's presentation on athletics, I can't even begin to try to beat what he just said about all of our athletes and our band and the grades that they maintain. It's a lot of these meetings, many years, and I continue to be impressed by our staff, our teachers, our students, and so I like to say there's much to be thankful for this year. Thank you all, and good Thanksgiving.
Mrs. Babarchi?
I'd also like to thank all of the students who were recognized. I enjoyed the gardening program. We got to see their display at the OSBA conference, and they did a very, very nice job of explaining all of the different stations that they were showing us and providing to everyone who wanted to see their display. And I'd like to thank all the teachers and bus drivers and all of the office staff and classified staff for everything they do. Really, I truly appreciate it. Mr. Stahl.
Everything they said, I'm going to say again. I'm just going to say it. And then, your trustees for the signs and Andy for his time. This can't say enough of that. Athletics, she's not here, but what Kara Joyce did this year was fantastic, and really appreciate her. And think the volleyball team did a heck of a job under bad circumstances. So very proud of what they did. Proud of everyone, garden club, kids, and everything. So thank you so much for having the meeting and sticking around. And the academic achievement discussion was excellent, and it only lasted, 30 minutes, but that was a lot of work in that document, so I appreciate what you guys did. Thank you very much. Even Tom understands.
Mr. Barker.
Sure, I will. Well, I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight. 5 years ago, this board gave me the opportunity to sit on the board at Medina County Career Center. And at this time, I'm just going to give you a heads up. First ones that I plan on resigning that position at the end of this year. So think about who we might be placing on that board. If it's not one of us, we can go outside, but my personal preference is it would be somebody from this board because of the taxing authority. I think it should be somebody who stands for election. 5 years ago, the Ohio legislature changed how the Board of Education at the Career Center is determined. And their terms and everything else, how long they could be there. And they, in my opinion, created some problems. 5 years ago, we had it's a 9-member board, and we had 8 new members at that time. And it is my hope that by my stepping down, because I am term limited, I'd only be able to serve 1 more year. But by stepping down at this time, that somebody else can get in there and get some knowledge before there's an additional turnover in that board, which I would expect there will be. So put that out there that in January, I hope we have somebody to appoint.
All right. Mr. Barco, thank you for your service to the Medina County Career Center Board as a representative. And we'll have some discussion about that as time goes forward. You can give us your insight and how we can fill that position. I'd just like to thank everyone for coming this evening, and it's just a wonderful time to be proud to be a Buck. Buckeye's a good place, and I think we witnessed that tonight with some of our special presentations. Thank you, Mr. Jacob, for the information about the high school. I think our branding is very important as we go forward, and kids need to feel comfortable and wanted when they come in our doors. Thank you for the academic discussion. It's very enlightening, and just very thankful to be part of this community. So, at this time, I would like to entertain a motion for executive session, a very, very short one, to discuss matters of employment. And may I have a motion for that? Well, I'm making the motion, I guess. So I need a second. Second from Mr. Mattson. Roll call.
Kaufman?
Yes.
Mattson?
Yes.
Barco?
Yes.
Havarchi? Yes. Dahl?
And we don't intend to have any